Okay, back with the crown. And the reproducer that is original to this machine has now been rebuilt. There it is. This is a typical mid-1930s British-made reproducer. Nothing revolutionary about it, just tried and true. It's got an aluminum shell with a brass, I think that's brass. Yeah, it is brass. Outer cover here that's got the crown name stamped into it. I'm sure they use these reproducers in many machines, or one similar to them. This had an aluminum diaphragm originally. It had been bent and bent back so many times it was pretty well useless. And it had two very thick rubber gaskets in there. So we got rid of those because they were all cracked and nasty. I had to substitute a Victrola No2 diaphragm, mica diaphragm, which worked. And I doubled up the gaskets, the foam gaskets and or rubber gaskets. And no problems there. It took up the space perfectly. The needle bar aligned with no problem. And it's been working well. It's not a very large horn or a big machine. It doesn't need a huge reproducer on here. And there really is no need for an orthophonic type of reproducer on a machine like this. Kind of wasted, really. But the number 2 actually sounds very good. The number 4 sounded good too. The number 2 is working well. So I'm going to leave it that way. I thought if it didn't work, I would try to source an aluminum diaphragm from somewhere or make one. But it doesn't seem to be a need for that. It's playing well. And you can see some of the other repairs I did. Very easy and simple and extremely cheap repairs. A little bit of black tape here that seals up any air gap on the horn, no problem. And it's replaceable and it doesn't damage anything. Over here, we took up a little bit of wobble in the tone arm using, let's see if I can find it here, this material. It's basically aluminum foil, thick aluminum foil, with a sticky background, and it is actually made for sealing ducts. Duct work on furnaces, things like that. It works very well for this kind of thing. Just slip some in there and it takes up the wobble. I slipped in a little more here just to seal up the air gap. I didn't want to like glob grease on there and make a huge mess. But this actually sealed the air gap very well. All right, let's hear Profiteering Blues by Billy Murray.
Your trouble's gone to your head, and you must take my advice right away. I know just what's wrong with you. Medicine will never do. I've had a lot of patients with the same complaint. When he told me what was wrong, I thought that I would faint. I've got the profiteering blues. I've got the profiteering blues. High prices make me sick, for all my clothes are worn through. I'll have to dress like Adam, but what else can I do? I've got the profiteering blues. I can't afford to buy a pair of shoes. Every time I get a raise, I laugh with glee. Then along comes my landlord and takes it from me. It seems the more I make, the more they take. I've got the profiteering blues. Do you remember when prices were low? Say that seems so long, long ago. Gone are the days when free lunches went with beers. Those memories just fill my eyes with tears. Where are the steaks that cost a quarter? Oh, nobody knows. Nobody knows. And where is all the pure milk without the water? Oh, that was when we were so young, Maggie, when $10 a week was big pay. But that pay today don't go a very long way. You'd be surprised. Take your girl to a show and how those $10 will go. $15. I'll say you do. Now you're in luck if you get just the coat without the pants for $15. You know that's true. Underwear, underwear. You're so high, soon we'll have to go bare. King Solomon had 1,000 wives, I've heard them say. Oh, what a chance he'd have to keep those women today. It's no joke, we're all dead broke. I've got the profiteering blues.
Profiteering blues. Yeah, anybody trying to buy toilet paper today would know all about that, won't you? Yeah. Well, Billy would know too. He was around in the Great War and the pandemic that followed it. Kind of like us. Let's try Oh By Jingo. Margaret Young. Probably should change the needle first. Yeah, that's always a good idea. Don't want to put a used needle on there. Come on. There we go. Oh By Jingo. I don't know if this is the instrumental or if it's the vocal. Oh, it must be vocal. Okay. Comic song with orchestra, it says. Haven't played this one. Let's see if it's any good. And there we go. Oh, my jingo! Yeah, that's what I say when I watch the news every day these days. Well, something similar anyway. And there we are. She's up, playing. It didn't need much. Just the reproducer, a little bit of oil. That's really it. This machine's been maintained throughout its entire existence. Well cared for. In a home. Not banished to the attic, as I said. And it shows. You know, it shows. The finish isn't alligator. The decals are in good shape. You know, most of the paint is still on the horn. And, you know, the reproducer, that's just normal stuff. Rubber simply does not last 85 years or however old this is. So, 75? Who cares? Anyway, so I'm going to leave that reproducer just the way it is. It's working fine. There's no need to change anything around it. Don't need the aluminum diaphragm. And it's easier this way, because if I ever had to repair it for some reason, a number 2 reproducer diaphragm is easy to find. And so are the gaskets. You know, that's never going to be a problem, so I'll just leave it the way it is. And this is a machine that has seen many, many interesting times, just like we have today. Not the last pandemic, but you think the Japanese invasion of Singapore, you know, I'm sure a lot of these machines would have been captured and probably taken back to Japan. This one had the good fortune to leave that area before the war, so it didn't get banged around and abused and stolen or anything else. You know, the gentleman who had this apparently bought it new from the dealer. In there, he worked for the United States Foreign Service, and he passed away some years ago. His son inherited it, who is older himself and had passed away, and I guess his son inherited it, and all of them kept the machine in good condition. The last one liquidated the estate and sold it to a friend of mine who, on my authority, he called me and said, "You're interested?" "Yeah, you think?" And now I have it. And it's been freshly serviced, everything's good. And it'll be playing records for, well, however long I last. With this pandemic, who knows? But it's in good shape now, and there you hear it. Probably the last outside horn machine to be made commercially, until the Gramophones of modern times. I don't count them. They're crude and nasty, and we don't get involved with those. You know, this is a quality machine with quality parts that weren't sourced out of wrecked machines elsewhere. You know, it was built in a factory, purpose-built to be the way it is for the market at the time. I'm guessing that the Asian market must have wanted, you know, outside horn phonographs, because it would have been easier to make some form of an internal horn phonograph or a portable. But I guess the man knew his market. And there you go. The Crown Model 107. I'm going to guess from around 1935, somewhere in there.